There's some guys that I see get placed into the friend zone
Yeah.
because of confidence. You can't just sit there and just be like, all right, cool, I'm gonna be your friend up until you realize that I'm the one for you. And then all of a sudden it's like, no, like you gotta make your intentions clear.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times that comes from, speaking up, being confident in your choice and your decision. Like, hey, like I know that we've been friends, but I would like to see myself be more than friends. And is that something that you're interested in? The biggest weapons that the enemy tries to use is the silence.
Ooh.
Silence of the believers, silencing the voice of men. We see it over in the Bible where, where Pharaoh was like, man, we got to kill all the young men, and we got to throw them in the river. Because he's trying to silence the voice of men, and if I could deter these men from being effective, if I could deter them from having any form of impact, when they're younger, when they're older, I don't have to deal with it. Welcome back to the Dear Man of God podcast. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe, and also tune in to a fire episode.
Women are looking for a man who is going to set the direction. She wants you to set the tone and set the direction.
And we got to be confident in who God called us to be, confident in God's word. I feel like sometimes that's what prevents us from sharing the gospel. We're not confident in God's word. And so I don't know what to say or how to navigate it. But like, bro, man, there's so much to be said about having confidence, especially as a man of God, to be able to make a difference, to make an impact, whether that is it's in dating or whether that's in sharing the gospel. Like there's so much to be said about confidence and walking out a life of living confident. And that doesn't mean that you have all the answers. That doesn't mean that you know all the next steps. But I know that I'm bold enough to trust God in this situation, in this setting, at this exact moment. And I'm confident that if God is for me, then who can be against me?
Right.
And that's just kind of where we got to stand, bro.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think even like, cause I feel like we're talking like friend zone, but I feel like the core of it is like legit like relational leadership. Like, how do I become a relational leader? I think first part is like, what is leadership? I think about leadership. Leadership is the idea of influence. And how am I stewarding, how am I wielding my influence? And I think you can have seasons where you are stepping into it, and I think you can have seasons where you're pushing it away. I think for various different reasons. When I think about men very practically, man, like, how do I become a relational leader? I mean, I think it just comes with taking up your space, bro. Like I think leaning into just what you were saying, the confidence part, especially like in the dating arena, because that's really what we're talking about. Like, I think women are looking for a man who is going to set the direction. She wants you to set the tone and set the direction. Like, are you going to be the leader of our home, of our house? Or am I going to have to direct you and tell you and set a course for you? And I think that is, that's a gap that again kind of exposes maybe where we haven't grown the most, right? And I think, I'm just trying to think, when you think like of relational leadership, bro, like just growing up as like, young male, like what do you feel like you learned a lot of your relational leadership skills at?
Bro, sports.
Yep.
Sports, man. I remember like a good majority of high school, man. Like I was team captain, and bro, I think back, like, bro, I didn't know nothing about leadership, bro. I was team captain. I didn't know nothing about how to captain. None of that. And I think just kind of growing up, and going into college, I learned more about leadership and what that looked like. And it was on the court and off the court, but just realizing like a lot of where my leadership understanding was formed was through sports. And yeah, bro, like, I think one of those things is I learned like, man, like you can't expect something out of somebody that you haven't done, that you wouldn't be willing to do for yourself. And I think that was kind of like one of the first leadership lessons that I learned. And I'll never forget, man, like in college, I ended up, it was like the end of the year award, and they were just kind of just giving out awards to different people on the team. And I got this award for like always working hard in practice, like never taking, never, like I would take practice just as serious as I took it from the games. And really it kind of clicked for me, like, oh man, like, yeah, people noticed that. Like I really did try to do that. And then my teammates were like, yo bro, like you really push us, like you really. And so like I learned in that moment, like, man, yeah, like I'm not gonna ask my teammates to work any harder because I want to win, but like I'm not gonna ask them to work harder if I'm not working harder. And I think that kind of bleeds into our relationships, bro. Like, man, like I'm not gonna try to ask a woman of God to be to be godly, to be sweet, but to be hardworking, to be wise and disciplined. But I'm not those things myself. Like we have to realize, like, all right, like, yeah, we all got our weaknesses and our strengths, but as a man of God, like I don't want to ask my wife to be something that I'm not already putting my foot forward to do myself. And so, man, I think there's so many different lessons in leadership. But like, what about you? Like, where do you think some of that leadership formation started happening for you?
Man, I would say the same, bro. I could say sports. But man, I don't know why I just kind of keep coming back to this picture. We kind of always talk about I graduated college and I got into the work world. And I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like when I first graduated college, I didn't know what I was gonna do.
Bro, that time be ghetto, bro.
Listen, I
graduated college, you're like, man, how these people money?
Bro, listen.
Yeah, I figured out. Not for you, yeah. But I was like, man, it's ghetto out here.
I gotta figure this out.
Listen.
Hey, we got
what they told me.
This is not what they told me.
Yeah.
But I feel like every time we talk about it, that song come back to my mind. Praying on dial paying by these college phones. Just gotta stick to it, like
Yeah. Praying on dial paying back my college loans, making music, trying to stick to it like a xylophone. For real.
Hey, yeah, bro, that comes back every time.
Yeah.
But just like graduating, it's like, what am I about to do?
Yep.
I had one goal in college. Don't come home empty-handed. And it's like, okay, we got a degree, now what?
Yeah, for real.
And when I tell people, I got this first job I got, it was door-to-door sales. And it was working for this company. Honestly, it was coming True Green. Bro, I was going door-to-door.
Right, True Green.
Bro, I was going door-to-door selling lawn care service products, fertilizer, whatever. And like I was like, okay, I had a drive and a hustle. Like I was ambitious, man. And sales kind of opens the door, like ceiling wise, to do some stuff. And I was like, okay, cool. And bro, we was out there grinding. We was working. Like I'm telling you, we was walking 3-4 miles a day and just like heat North Carolina and knocking on 100, 10 doors a day. And like I remember when I first got to that arena, I was like, Lord, what is this? Like I'm working hard. I understand.
Yeah.
I gotta, but like, boy, I feel like this is, and like I remember this first stint of it, maybe like the first week of me being at this job. We getting it done, but I can distinctly remember in between houses, me being on the phone on Indeed.com, and I'm just like, I'm applying in between houses.
Yeah.
Just like I'm just applying, whatever. I gotta get up out of here.
Yeah.
And one day, it just kind of clicked. Yeah, you're not getting none of them jobs. Might as well just kind of put your head down and kind of grind it out here. And man, I kind of really put my head down and grinded it out. And I realized really what the lesson was for me in that season. And a lot of it was leadership, bro. It was growing my gifts, skills, speaking, communicating. But a lot of it was, okay, how do you lead a pack of people who are dealing with similar emotions, similar feelings, similar dispositions, want to quit, want to get up?
Yeah.
How can you inspire, motivate? How can you cast a vision that mobilizes people to keep going and believe for something bigger? And it was like the core components of God teaching me how to lead transformationally. And that in itself was different because I grew up in a world where like we were taught quid pro quo. Like, you give me this, I'm gonna give you that. You give me 4 years on this football field, I'm gonna give you a scholarship. So like, coming out of a transactional like state of mind, the idea that, oh no, like God's showing me, yeah, I'm growing this gift in you to use your words. Cause bro, the first door I got to, I was, I couldn't even say my name. Listen, and it's a journey, and I think this is why women are frustrated, because it's like, you want me to come here and be a 10 and worship the gym god with you and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
But like, not only is that, you know, idealistic, but you ain't even stepped on your own journey field and let God grow you.
Yeah.
And bro, like, it was just this season of, again, God really cultivating these core gifts, bro, that he planned to use for the journey, and moments where he would give revelation of, yeah, this is what it's for, and this is why I'm calling you to lean into it. Yeah. But yeah, man, I was learning relational leadership there. I was learning relational leadership, 98 degrees, you know, 11 to 8 p.m. North Carolina, just grinding.
Yeah, that's powerful, bro. Because like I think even within that, like what I'm hearing is like you stuck it out, and because you chose to stay planted, God cultivated you within it. And I think man, there's a huge lesson for so many people, because man, a lot of times like we jump ship when God is really trying to develop, like, man, this is too hard, this season's too frustrating, it's too cold, it's too whatever, let me leave. When in reality, God is like, no, I'm trying to get you to stay in this, and I know it's hard, and I know it might not be ideal, but there's something that I'm trying to cultivate you into this season, that I want to be able to produce and bring out of you in the next season.
Yeah, bro.
And I think a lot of times, especially like when it comes to the world of dating, like we're kind of practicing the whole aspect of like, oh, I don't like this. Nah, I'm gonna go to the next one. Yeah. Oh, I don't like this person. I don't like this thing that they did, or I don't like how we had this conference. I'm gonna go to the next one. And there's nothing wrong with having standards, but I think we're in a way practicing, oh, if I don't like something, I can just leave. So now that when I'm married, and when it gets hard, and when it gets frustrating, but we're in this covenant, I don't like this thing, so I'm gonna just leave this marriage, and we get a divorce. And so I think that's something huge to like, just that takeaway there is just like, man, am I practicing? Am I conditioning myself to stay planted even when things get hard, so that when stuff is going on around me, I'm not just abandoning ship, because I think how we do anything is how we do everything. And so, man, you might think that, hey, you're at that job right now, and I don't like it, so let me just leave and find the next one. But it's just like, you'll probably do that same thing when it comes to you being married. Yeah. Like, and we have to be able to know, like, man, God is really trying to cultivate us and form things in us in every single season, every single thing that he allows us to steward. But yeah, it just like, when you said that, it's just like, oh man, like that's that aspect of being planted, staying planted, so that God can cultivate you through that entire season. Hey, what's up, Circle Up fam? So glad that you were able to tune in today. I hope you were blessed by the conversation. Here's what you need to do. You need to make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, share, do all the things. It's going to help us so much. And hey, you can actually check out the full conversation by clicking the link in the bio below. Peace out.